Not even one day. Not even one day can these PlayStation... Can't swear in the first 30 seconds. Dumbasses, stupid these glue sniffers go without saying something completely idiotic. Well, what is it this time, you might be wondering? What is it that they said this time? PlayStation fanboys have now become so, delusional that they're claiming that Starfield is actually only going to be a timed exclusive and it will totally 100%, no joke, no meme, I definitely don't have brain damage, release on the PlayStation 5. This is absolutely fucking retarded, and I think with that being said, we just have to dive right into this one.
Could Starfield end up being a timed exclusive? I know this seems crazy. I've gotten a lot of pushback on this theory.
Yes, of course you've been getting pushback because it's ridiculous and no, it could not happen. I mean, I guess it technically could happen, but it's not going to happen. You're just delusional. I'm sorry. You're coping.
But I think there are a lot of recent developments that point to the possibility of this being the plan all along. Not necessarily related to the Activision deal, but I do think that may push this becoming a concession from Xbox.
First of all, this guy is rolling up his sleeves like he's about to say something mad, like he's about to, destroy us verbally, like he's cooking. He's not saying shit. My guy actually said that he thinks that this is going to be a concession in the Activision Blizzard purchase. Like Microsoft's just gonna tell Sony, hey, if you guys let us purchase this company, we'll put Starfield on your console. And then Sony's just gonna be like, okay, that sounds fair. Makes perfect sense, my guy. Makes perfect sense. Okay? Definitely not mentally crippled.
But I want to look at a lot of different things. I know people are probably thinking, this is clickbait. There's just no way, man. Let me walk through all of the different things that I've discovered. I've done a lot of research and looked into a lot of different things about certain phrases they're using with Starfield that aren't really showing up for any other games except for certain games, and you'll be interested to know what those games are.
I'm not gonna pretend like phrasing doesn't mean anything, but in this case it really just doesn't. Like, for a game this size that has only ever been announced to be coming to Xbox and PC and always, has been announced as an Xbox console exclusive, why the fuck would they secretly make it timed exclusive? Usually when a game is timed exclusive, they tell you, especially when it's this big and they want people on the other platform to get hyped for the game so they could buy it.
And what exactly happened with them. I also want to look at the CFO's comments that we looked the other day and what that's going to look like in light of all the new things the FTC is asking for. With the pushback from Sony, this could become a concession now that the FTC is really pressing in on wanting to know strategy for future ZeniMax properties as well as Call of Duty. Starfield could end up in the mix here, and I think there's a lot of information that's readily available.
Coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing.
Yeah, definitely. The FTC is going to force Microsoft to put Starfield on PlayStation in order for the deal to go through. They can't do that. They can't force Microsoft to do something with their intellectual property if they don't want to do that. And this idea that Microsoft will have to concede anything is kind of ridiculous, because they've been trying to work out a Call of Duty deal with Sony, and Sony's just been refusing everything. Actually, Jim Ryan came out and said, we don't want a deal, we just don't want your merger to go through. Again, it's fucking stupid, because every other company in the entire industry either has no problem with this or has come out in support of Microsoft's purchase. So the idea that Microsoft will have to put their biggest exclusive this year on the main competitor's console just to appease the FTC is kind of ridiculous.
So listen, I want to walk through a bunch of different things. Number one, the original talks about the potential of a Starfield PS5 exclusive. I'm going to show you guys screenshots and stuff. This is way more legit than I initially thought. I kind of brushed that off and thought, oh, that was a rumor. There was a pretty respected person that was tied in. We're going to look at what they were saying. There were apparently talks. I want to look at the Pete Hines interview where he sort of waffles and doesn't really know what the future is with respect to ZeniMax and Bethesda properties being never sort of on the PlayStation ever again. I want to look at the phrase, arrives exclusively. I've done a ton of research into this.
Guys, I've done a lot of research, guys. I've read like 2 articles, guys. Please, guys, give me validation. This is all I have, guys. Please think I'm smart. I'm just gonna skip to the part where he actually reads the articles and doesn't just waffle about nothing.
Game Informer article from back in September the 22nd of 2022. Starfield was reportedly in talks to be aimed as a PS5 exclusive before the Microsoft acquisition. Now, many people have dismissed this. They've just said there's no way that was ever going to happen. I think there were even remarks recently from Todd Howard about like they build for Xbox first. That doesn't mean that these talks weren't already potential in the works if you consider what was going on at the time.
Now, I've heard rumors about how before Microsoft purchased Bethesda, Sony tried to acquire Starfield as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. I've heard those rumors before, like a couple years ago, and I'm not saying they're not true or anything. I'm just really wondering what that has anything to do with the situation now. You know, because yeah, with the situation at the time, as you say, Bethesda was not purchased by Microsoft yet. But they are now, and they have announced that the game is not coming to PlayStation 5.
Oh, they've got these deals with Deathloop and Ghostwire, which Ghostwire is going to play a part in this video. Bear with me. I'll get to it in a moment. So he goes on to say this, though. The timing was genius. There is no denying that. But apparently the $7.5 billion deal has an even greater impact than we originally thought. Khan followed up his initial tweet saying that Sony was reportedly looking into a special deal with Bethesda's sci-fi new IP.
Okay, so real quick, I sped him up, obviously, right, because his video is very long, and it takes him a very long time to get to the goddamn point. But for some reason, when I speed him up, he sounds like MadPat. Not relevant to the video, it's just something I wanted to mention because, I don't know, ADHD brain, probably. Let's hope it gets to the point soon, though, because up until now, all he said is, oh, Sony wanted to make a deal with them like 5 years ago.
Something that wasn't being built for the PS5. So that means there is a build somewhere that was being worked on. We don't know if it was completely stopped or halted. We don't even know if they tucked this away as a backup plan for something to do later on down the line, given they want to recoup those costs on the deal.
What are you on about, mate? What costs? Why does it take you so long to get to the point? I've been cutting out parts of your video, I've been speeding your video up, and you're still talking about nothing. If you're talking still about the fact that they need to put the game on PlayStation in order to get the Activision deal to go through, that's bullshit and you know it. Anybody with more than 5 brain cells knows that bullshit. And if you're trying to insinuate that the game needs to be put on PlayStation 5 in order to be a financial success, that's also bullshit. Otherwise, no game ever would be exclusive.
So, one more thing we've got to look at now that we've looked at the PS5 exclusive talks is, I want to look at this Pete Hines interview.
Oh my god, that's it? You're done with that article? I thought that was the article with all the proof and all the facts and all the logic. But it's done now? You proved nothing. You goddamn time stealer. You stole like fucking 7 minutes of my life. That proved absolutely nothing. It's just an article talking about how PlayStation might have tried to, you know, get Starfield to be a timed exclusive. I knew that already. I'm not stupid.
Okay, this is NME.com reporting on this during Gamescom right here, 2021 live stream, all right? Pete Hines was, in my opinion, kind of waffling. There wasn't a lot of solidity here, okay? He says this, I have no idea how to state it. I don't know. I don't know the answer. It doesn't exist. It's not like I know it and just don't want to tell you, but the quote down here is the most important part. Starfield, it was announced as a thing that's an Xbox exclusive, he said. I don't know if I would go so far as to say you're done ever playing stuff on PlayStation, but again, I don't know the answer to that right now.
This guy did so much research, and yet he knows absolutely nothing. He has no clue what he's talking about. So when it was announced that Microsoft would be purchasing Bethesda, it was already immediately said that it wasn't 100% sure that no Bethesda games would ever go to PlayStation anymore. They didn't know that, right? They're still not sure about that. However, both Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6 have been confirmed to be exclusive to the Xbox Series X. It even says there in the article, Pete Hines says that the game Starfield was announced as an exclusive Xbox game. I know, ponies, reading is hard, but sometimes, you know, it's kind of necessary in order to make a valid argument.
So everything goes through. September's when the announcement comes, and then a year later, August of 2021, this guy is head of publishing at Bethesda, and he's saying, I don't know. He's saying, I don't have the answer to that right now?
Yes, because get this, he doesn't know yet. They're gonna do this on a case-by-case basis. They're not sure if every single Bethesda game or Bethesda published game is going to be exclusive to Xbox. However, they have announced and do know for sure that Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6 will be exclusive to Xbox. This was public knowledge like fucking 3 years ago, and he's pretending like this is new new information he just discovered with his amazing research.
What I would say this indicates is nothing specific about Starfield.
Guys, it says nothing specific about Starfield, even though it says right there that Starfield is an Xbox exclusive. Oh, but underneath it, it says you're not, I don't know if you're done playing, stuff on PlayStation yet. Yeah, that's referring to all the other games that aren't Starfield.
I think some of the things we're seeing with how hard they're pressing for the Activision deal to go through by just handing out 10-year contracts to literally anybody who can hold a pen, they're seemingly more interested in software distribution as well as mobile, my gosh. But that's the bigger picture here is I don't think they're so interested anymore. Like, no, it's on our system and it's never going anywhere.
My guy, you couldn't be more wrong. Microsoft has been quite aggressively expanding their ecosystem, especially with things like PC Game Pass, and putting like a lot of their exclusives day one on there. Essentially, what is happening is that Microsoft has all these games and they stay within their ecosystem, so that you're forced to enter their ecosystem and hopefully become, a consistent source of revenue. The only game with these 10-year contracts you're referring to is Call of Duty, which there are 10-year contracts for Call of Duty to keep it on other systems like the Switch, for example. But this, up until now, hasn't applied to any other franchise.
Right here is what I want to focus on, and I've researched this, so track with me here. Starfield arrives exclusively on Xbox Series X, S, and PC on September the 6th, 2023. Arrives exclusively is such a strange way of putting it. It honestly sounds strange if you think about it. You don't hear this phrase often.
Okay, so I'm just gonna skip to the part where he actually tells us what he thinks it means, because he's gonna go on a really long time going like, oh, what could this possibly mean? What could arrive possibly mean? Like, dude, this video is 14 minutes, yeah? It could have been 5.
You don't hear this phrase often. Now, I have people tell me, no, they say that all the time. They say that all the time. I went to Google, and I had a really hard time finding any press announcements, any trailers that say this, except for 2. As such, the most recent one, I think, will tell you attached to this. I'm pretty excited you can't tell. Okay, so I've been using quotations, so Google was only looking for arrives exclusively on Xbox or arrives exclusively on PlayStation. It's here telling me use this phrasing. And lo and behold, one of the games that's part of all of this, right before the buyout, is Ghostwire Tokyo announces its launch on PlayStation 5. Here is this very interesting phrase. This is also really interesting. So not only do we have another timed exclusive game, there was one more. It was Earth Defense Force Iron Rain, but I couldn't find a good website. I also found that one saying arrives exclusively on PlayStation. Let's look where else this strange phrase shows up. This is an official Xbox blog.
2 of them are timed exclusive, also use the word arrives. So that must prove that Starfield comes to PlayStation, right? No, it doesn't prove shit. It just means that Bethesda in their recent marketing has been starting to use the word arrives. I don't know why that matters. The game has been confirmed to be Xbox exclusive only, so has Redfall. This doesn't prove anything, and if you think it does, you're fucking deluded, mate. You must be snorting some really strong shit. And I'd like some of the shit you're snorting so that I can deal with retards like you.
Redfall revealed, coming exclusively to Xbox Series X and S. Huh, okay, that's pretty good. Coming, it's not necessarily saying timed exclusivity, but then when we scroll down here again, arrives exclusively. This is back when it had a November 11th release date.
Shut up, it's not a George R.R. Martin novel where words like this are strategically linked to each other. I'll believe the game is timed exclusive when they announce it's timed exclusive, which they won't. Anyway, I'm gonna end his video here because for the rest of the video he just talks a lot about how the word arrives means that the game is going to be timed exclusive and is coming to PlayStation, and how Xbox needs to put the game on PlayStation if they want to purchase Activision or whatever. I don't fucking know. If this video is somehow magically under, 20 minutes, it means I cut out a lot of his video and a lot of my video, because I feel like a lot of it is very boring. Goddamn, this guy talks a lot. And I do mean talk, he doesn't say anything. He just fucking opens his mouth and garbage spews out, and every once in a while he says something that kinda resembles a point. Anyway boys, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all in the next video, which hopefully won't be about somebody this fucking tedious. And yeah, goodbye.
I don't think this is a smoking gun, but it's extremely interesting.
No, it's really not.